21 is now his allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Again, good morning, everyone. Gary Merrill, President of the Board, and to my right is fellow Commissioner Jeff Benton. Commissioner Barb Lewis is not with us today. Our Vice President, that's what I was about to say. And our Administrator in charge today, Deputy Administrator, is Don Houston, and our clerks, Sarah and Jennifer. Let's proceed.
Resolution number 21-504, in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held June 7, 2021.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-504. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We have no public comment this morning. Resolution number 21-505, in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch numbers CMAs PR 0609 and memo transfers in batch numbers MTA 0609.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-505. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-506, in the matter of setting date and time for viewing and public hearing for the consideration of the Evans number 354 drainage maintenance petition filed by James Melius and others.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-506. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-507, in the matter of accepting and approving the Delaware County Sheriff's Office Transport Report for the month of April 2021.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-507. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-508, in the matter of a new liquor license request from Ethos Distributors LLC and forwarding to the Ohio Division of Liquor Control with no objections and no request for a hearing.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 21-508. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-509, in the matter of procuring body-worn camera devices and associated licenses and system software for the Delaware County Sheriff's Office.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. I'm Jeff Balzer, Chief Deputy with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. The request before you has two different parts, one for the jail and one for our tactical team. For the jail, we are seeking to procure the body-worn cameras for our corrections officers and sergeants within the jail. This is something that we've talked about for quite a while. Although we have fixed cameras throughout the jail, there are certain areas in individual cells in different areas where the corrections officers interact with inmates that we want to have coverage there as well. The reason for this is protection. Protection of our staff, protection of the inmates, and protection of the county for liability. We see this as a best practice moving forward. I also found it interesting this week there's an article in the Columbus Dispatch about the Ohio Department of Rehab and Corrections is actually starting a pilot program to have some of their corrections officers wear body-worn cameras in jail too. So whereas this is fairly new for the corrections world, as we know, law enforcement has been, we in the county have embraced this for a few years. So that's why we're seeking to have our COs wear this, and it was part of our budget request. I'm also going to defer to Captain Vance as far as our tactical team.
Good morning, Commissioners. Captain Scott Vance. As you're aware, back in late 2016, we began the process of body-worn cameras out at the Sheriff's Office. We actually rolled them out to all patrol and sworn LE officers in June of 2017, and since that time have been such. The Sheriff's Office does maintain a multi-jurisdictional tactical unit as well as a crisis negotiations unit and a medical technicians unit. Those personnel, as on our team wearing our gear, have our cameras. However, the other ones are either not supplied with them by their agency or have theirs. And we've determined that that is probably not the best practice. Best practice being that we, as the governing agency for the team, will provide those cameras. We will be able to maintain accountability and transparency with those for the use with the team that not only services Delaware County, but is often utilized in other surrounding agencies.
Any questions or comments?
What has, the use of body cameras, obviously we did that a number of years ago, and I assume that's been done well and worked well. Around the state and the nation, how are body cameras working out?
I'm not sure I follow your question, other than to tell you that obviously it's been a hot topic item coming out. We moved to them, like I said, back in 2017. We had a very positive response. Certainly, we had a few officers that were leery of them, but as time has prevailed, we've determined that they've been a positive asset to us, and probably 95+% of the time, and that's just a rough guess at my point. It's exonerated the officers, the office, and more times than not has caught our personnel doing things right and for the right reason. And I think it's something the public demands is accountability. And it's not to be lost that it is only capturing one side, right? It's that fisheye looking at you, so there's always another one looking. So even though we have them, we have to take in the totality of the circumstances when we review those.
Yeah, my experience from the outside, I guess, is that it does really protect the jurisdiction, you know, the law enforcement agency, by providing accurate, you know, undebatable, if you will, coverage of the events.
Certainly.
So yeah, I think that makes sense. I know when we were first contemplating it, Sheriff Martin said it's a great idea just for protection of our people,
Certainly.
you know, in the county. So good to see. And now, have many jails incorporated this? I know you mentioned this is relatively new in the
In
corrections.
Ohio, we may be the first one.
Okay.
We've reached out to the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association. Others have talked about it. Other jails in other states have. We may be the first one in Ohio.
Okay.
And like I said, the ODRC has started a pilot project to have their COs in the state prison carry them as well. And again, it's for the protection of our folks when they're going through, they're making their rounds. You know, any comments, things like this, they're going to have their camera on. When we're having a use of force in response to an inmate, then we'll have an even better view of what's going on there.
Yeah, I just have one question, and you indicated that it's going to improve the visibility throughout the jail. Nothing is 100%, but does this get close to 100%, or?
Well, we're getting closer because the officers will have it on them. As we said, we've got a number of cameras throughout the jail, but for various reasons, we don't have them in individual cells. So if something happens in there, it's almost as though, even though someone might bring a camcorder or a sergeant would have a camcorder, you're still trying to view over top of everybody else in the way. This will give us a much better view. And I'm also, one of the big reasons we wanted it is when the officers do their rounds and they go through the dorm just to check on someone. We have video, but we have no audio. This is another way to make sure that our folks are professional in their interactions, and if an inmate's making a claim of something later on, we can go back and see what's exactly happened. And one other point I was going to make too, it was interesting to me that for a number of years, the Department of Justice, U.S. Department of Justice, has really pushed the ideas of local law enforcement having body-worn cameras. And we embraced it early on a few years ago. Just this week, the U.S. Department of Justice put out a policy guidance directing the U.S. Marshals, FBI, ATF, DEA, a number of agencies to issue policies within the next 30 days for when their agents will wear body-worn cameras. So I just thought that was interesting that the federal government also sees the value, not just the local officers wearing it, but their agents when they go out on arrest situations will have it as well.
Yeah, I'm debating whether to say what I'm about to say. I wouldn't say the federal government has always used what they do for the best intentions of the public, but we'll give them the benefit of the doubt on this. Any other questions or comments?
No, I just think this will reinforce the professionalism of our sheriff's office, which is great.
Agreed.
Okay, call for vote.
Vote on motion 21-509. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Resolution number 21-510, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application for the Department of Youth Services Reclaim Grant for the Delaware County Probate Juvenile Court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Karen Watkins, Fiscal Coordinator for the Juvenile and Probate Court. This is our annual submission to the Department of Youth Services. It covers funding for all of our juvenile programs, ranging from the assessment center that we have over at the Willis Center to the probation and the family advocate programs. You'll see that there is an increase that we're going to be receiving in the variable amount. That's based on the decreased number of bed day usages that we've had at detention centers. I believe it's a 10-year average.
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-510. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-511, in the matter of approving supplemental appropriations for juvenile court.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Karen Watkins again. This is a grant that we received from the Ohio Supreme Court. It's for a software upgrade that will allow better utilization of the software programs that we have with our Courtview and Smart Bench programs. I believe it's in conjunction with the General Division. So this is all for a software upgrade and training on those.
Okay. Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-511. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-512, in the matter of authorizing the use of a procurement card for the use of the Economic Development Department.
So moved.
Second, discussion. Please.
I can say this is a new card for Zach Dowley. With the resignation of Bob Lamb, that department will need a card.
Vote.
Vote on motion 21-512. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-513, in the matter of amending the child placement services contract between the Delaware County Department of Job and Family Services, the Delaware County Board of Commissioners, and Buckeye Ranch Incorporated.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jennifer Wattenshade with Job and Family Services. We currently have a contract in place for residential treatment and foster care services with Buckeye Valley Ranch. Buckeye Ranch, sorry. However, they do not include a rate for intensive care services. This amendment takes care of that so that we can place youth where we need to there.
Do we have any youth in
We do have, yes, we do have youth placed there, and we do have one that needs a yes.
one in intensive care?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-513. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Resolution number 21-514, in the matter of appointing a member to the Delaware County Moral Mental Health Recovery and Services Board.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jane Hawes, Director of Communications. We have before you a resolution to appoint Robert Horrocks, better known as Bob Horrocks, to the Mental Health and Recovery Services Board, and we recommend your approval.
Questions or comments? We two what I consider exceptional candidates. Those are the kind of decisions you like to have where you have a tough choice between two highly qualified individuals. And Mr. Horrocks' experience maybe give him a slight edge, but in no way takes away from the other individual who also was part of this process. So if there's nothing else to...
Yeah, I think we all have known Bob for a long time, and he did an outstanding job getting Source Point, formerly the Council for Older Adults, up and running and to the incredible agency that it is today. And so I think he'll bring that perspective to this group and be a valued member of this board. Appreciate Bob's willingness to serve.
Vote.
Vote on motion 21-514. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Resolution number 21-515, in the matter of approving a transfer of appropriation and a supplemental appropriation for the Board of Elections.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Hi, Anthony Sadie, Deputy Director at the Board of Elections. This is from a grant that we received last year. We are going to be returning, out of the $40,000 for the grant, we're returning a little over $6,000. It had to be used for physical security and/or ADA accessibility. So,
Questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-515. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
thank you.
Resolution number 21-516, in the matter of authorizing the submitting of an application for a federal 911 grant for the Emergency Communications Department.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. What we have before you, Patrick Brandt, 911 Director. What we have before you is a grant opportunity that very ever seldom comes for 911 and direct. The federal government has put out a 911 grant. It's being handled by the Department of Commerce and the State of Ohio 911 Program Office. Originally, I didn't think we were going to be eligible for it, but after further discussion on what we're doing with the equipment and being able to record text to 911 calls and such, This is a budgeted project for this year, so if we can offset any part of the budget by getting grants, would be great. We've requested 82,000 in grant funds. The matching part would be 55.
And that'll come from the 911 levy, correct?
Yes, that would all come out of the 911. It's actually budgeted out of the wireless funds that are in 911. Yes. So, that.
Is this a competitive grant? I mean, what are the odds of getting it?
Well, this is going to be the second round of the grant that's going through Ohio. I think there's a fairly good chance we're going to get a portion of it. So I should know, they have a very quick turnaround on this. The apps were actually due last week. When I originally reached out to them, they didn't think they had any funds left available. When I explained the project and found out that it would meet the requirements, and then I got a notice on Monday saying, get the application down here. So that's a good sign.
What's the timeline on the decision and implementation then?
They want everything completed by year end.
Okay.
They want the grant funded and paid and completed by year end. So it is 100% upfront we have to pay, and then they'll do a reimbursement of that 60%. So I'm assuming we're probably gonna get notice by July, early July, so we can get everything moving quickly.
Okay, good.
Any other questions or comments? Vote.
Vote on motion 21-516. Mr. Merrill?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
All right,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Patrick.
If you'd like, we can move on to administrator comments.
I just have a couple quick updates for you today. I think you probably remember a few weeks ago, Mike Fromer was contacted by John Comerford with Otterbein and had provided information about their Otterbein Advantage program, which offers scholarships for employees and their covered dependents at Otterbein. It's really a neat program that we've worked through the details of, have an approved agreement with Otterbein, and we're just waiting for the materials from them so that we can put that out to our employees and make them aware of the program and what it offers. So we essentially will just have to post open positions on their job boards, participate in career fairs that they have for their students. Employees may also have the opportunity to participate on advisory boards there at Otterbein as those positions are available. And then we would also offer internships, both paid and unpaid, for their students. The college brought about this program because they see that many of their graduates stay in the Central Ohio area and want to provide job opportunities for them for their future. So we're really excited about this, and I think it'll be a really nice benefit for our employees and their dependents.
Very good.
So all Delaware County employees,
Yes.
regardless of office, would be eligible?
Correct. That is correct. And dependents up to age 24 would be eligible for a 57% discount on the tuition. Unfortunately, currently enrolled Otterbein students are not eligible for the program. This also offers a 15% discount for employees and their spouses if they choose to take classes at Otterbein. So it'll be a neat thing. We're excited about it. And then the other thing, last week we approved the safety consult agreement with George Rex, and he is meeting today with Regional Sewer District, and then the first week in July we'll meet with our facilities department, but he's begun reviewing our policies. He met with Brad Ewens. Unfortunately, our prior safety director, Brian Gallagher, is on military duty this week and next, so he'll catch up with him once he's back. So things are moving along with that program as well.
I had not met him, but as I was leaving the building Monday, I think it was, he was coming into the building, so we had
Yes.
a brief conversation. So.
Oh, good. He was here, yes, Monday, and started looking at policies then, so.
Very good.
All right,
Commissioner
thank you.
Benton.
Really not a whole lot. We had our DKMM meeting Tuesday in Marion in person, one of the first ones in a year plus, and it was good to see everybody. Good group, you know, the counties that we work
Although
with.
one member of that good group wasn't there, but he's still a good group.
That'd be yourself?
That'd be me.
Yeah. So anyway, that's good to get back in person meetings, and we've got some other in-person meetings scheduled in the future, so that's all I got.
That's it. I only have one thing, speaking of getting away from virtual meetings, which is, you know, my opinion about virtual meetings. So we have our course of board meeting tomorrow. Unfortunately,
That's virtual?
no,
That one's in
it's going to be in
person.
person. The CCO board meeting, CCO building downtown is having air conditioning installed and it's not finished. So we're meeting in New Albany tomorrow, but it is in person. So I'm glad to see that we're getting back to, I think, they're much more productive meetings. I know everybody agrees with that, but I think as a general rule, and I think here we're about to have today is probably going to be a good example of that. We tried to do it virtually before. I really don't have anything else. We do have about 7 minutes before we can start. So if you have nothing else,
Do we have executive session? We
So-
don't?
No.
then I am going to recess this until 10 o'clock. We are in recess.